I mean, it'll break and start going. It takes some doing, doesn't it? Got this Toro recycler that came off the curb late last year, I think, and it started up at the time. I've borrowed a couple parts off of it since then. I think I borrowed the, what was it? Oh, I know what it was. It was the gasket for that carb. I'll have to see if I've got that gasket. If I don't, then we'll have to delay this, but I do at least have the magneto that I think will work on this, but we have to repair the magneto. The end of it is clipped off, but I have an end I'm gonna put on it. I went to the parts store. They did not have just the terminals on for these, so they didn't have a terminal and a boot like this. So what I did was I just got one single plug wire, the shortest one they had, which was like, it was $1.37 or something like that. So we're gonna take the end off of this, we'll strip this back, and we'll put the terminal on and a new boot. Here's what I got, just a plug wire, and here's the boot that I need, the angled boot, and here's the terminal I need. I just need to take this terminal off and re-crimp it on the other one after stripping that one too, but I need something to get this off of here. And I need to get it off without destroying it. Gotta be careful. Okay, so there's that off of there. And you can kind of just see how this is done. They've got their main conductor here in the middle that is just bent backwards, and then this is applied over it like so. So we're gonna need about this much stripped back. Something like that. There we go. Now then, probably could have went and got my wire strippers, but okay, that ought to do it. Okay. I'm not going to lie and say that that's properly gapped, because I have no idea, but could be. Yeah, this is absolutely filthy. I'm going to go ahead and spray these off, these pieces. This is the air filter holder. Spray all this off. I do need that gasket. I don't have it. So I think for now I'll try to get it back together without the gasket, and I'll put it on order, but we got to get it running. Okay, these screws, I'm going to have two short ones that go up front and then two longer ones that go in the back on this. There is one more screw back here for the gas tank, but I'm not going to put it in yet. Take it up here out of the way of everything to start it up. Okay, so take bets. What's it going to do? Nothing. First pull, second pull. Let me know below. Obviously, I have no primer bulb. I have no air filter on it right now. And the carburetor is in the same state it was over a year ago when I stored the thing away. So, you know, it's been in a dirty, filthy garage since then, so who knows what's in it and what it's going to do. That's the drive right there. That's got to be fixed still. Okay, we're good on that. I don't think we have any gas. We do not. Empty of gas. I'm going to need to go get some gas soon. I've been fixing so many lawnmowers this summer. I've about used it all up testing stuff. I don't want to put a bunch in it because this fuel line fell off earlier. Just kind of easily, so I don't want to risk it spilling out everywhere. Probably should get something to spray in the carb just to help start it. Alright, we'll hit it with a little bit of contact cleaner in the carb. It's not going to hurt to clean that out a little bit anyway. Yeah, it's just as I thought. She'll be a runner, man. She was a runner before I put her up. The only problem was the drive. Like I said, it's still got drive problems. I tried, I don't know if you noticed, but I did try pulling that to see if it did anything at all. It doesn't do anything at all. So we're going to have to disassemble the drive and figure out what's going on with that and what parts I might need to order. You can see we've got what looks like maybe a fuel leak here. Pretty sure it's probably what that's... Yep, that's fuel coming out of there. So I'm going to need new fuel line, new gasket for the carb, and let's see what else. And then dig into that front end. I'll tell you what, while we can, we'll go ahead and dig into the front end, replace that fuel line. Those are two things we can do. We'll have to wait on the gasket for the carb. Okay, first thing what we're going to do is get this little cover off the belt area here and see what's going on with that. There it is. That's 3/8. Yes, this is the plastic tapping screw there. Is there another one? Oh. Okay. Well, that's pretty nasty. I don't know what I expected. Oh, it's going backwards now. Well, it was for a second. And then it stopped. See that? Okay. Well, okay, it was going backwards for a second. The wheels were. See there? I'd be interested to see what it does when I have it running and try to engage it then. If we don't need all this crap in the way. It almost would be better to just leave that guard off there so it doesn't clog it up. Hang on. Let's see what it does when I tighten that up. Okay. Well, it is tightening up. But, I mean, it'll break and start going. It takes it some doing, doesn't it? It's like if you don't hit it just right, it won't go back. All right, pay attention down here and we'll see if we can make that engage. Okay, so that's definitely interesting. So the pulley's engaging, but there's no teeth engagement on the transmission. So there's no power getting to the wheels. All right, I believe to get that off of there, we've got to get the front wheels off, both of them, and then it's part of the axle. I'll show you what we're looking at on the wheel assembly here. We're looking at, we've got this is what the wheels look like. They have a pinion gear that engages on the outside of these wheels. It's a very common problem for these plastic teeth to wear down on these, because some of these manufacturers, they put this pinion gear just far enough away from these where they won't engage with the teeth except for on the very tip of the teeth. And what they mess you up really by doing that, because these wear out a lot faster that way. I think they do it on purpose. You know, it's another one of those things these companies do. So we've got a little washer here and screw. We'll keep on that bolt rather. We'll keep that all together. This has to come off first. We got a little E-clip or something here. Get that off. Ooh, come on now. Ow. Fucking hell. There we go. And don't lose that. We put it in the wheel, the pinion too. We're going to have a washer on the outside. It's got like a little clutch. See that? And it'll go this way. Alright, so it needs to go freely forward and it needs to stop on its way back. Key, and then there's a bunch of washers here too. And then this piece will have to go on. Don't forget this piece goes on before the pinion. There's another clip there. That's kind of stuck. There we go. Okay. That clip. And we've got a key. And then we've got the rest of these. There's a washer, or maybe just one washer. And behind that, we've got another clip here. Shit. many clips does this damn wheel assembly have? There's a spring down in here which pushes up on that key. Don't lose that. There we go. And then 2 more washers behind that. And then this guy, how's he on here? We got this height adjustment. These have to? Yes, they are. Thank you. And there's that bolt. So it's obvious which way that goes. All right, now the other side. Oops. Okay, this one does not have a washer here. Or maybe it does and it just fell off. I don't see it. Let's have to open it up from the bottom anyway. See if we can get that pulley off some other way. I don't think it's supposed to spin freely like that, but because of the malfunction, it is. So maybe something's broken, whatever it is, it's preventing me from getting that pulley off. Okay, so that, all right, there we go. Probably should have done that instead, but oh well. Okay, the only thing left holding it is the cable. There we go, there we go. All right. Yep, I would say what's happening is it's getting at a certain angle where it's engaging, and then at other angles it's not. But hopefully you can see that gear in there, the way that it's moving around. There's a little bit of play there, but not a whole lot. I mean, well, yeah, there might be enough where that would be rendered bad. The reason it was spinning is because this, or the reason I couldn't get this off rather, is because it's attached in one piece, it looks like, to that. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to get anything on the end of that. So it just spins. So that would have to catch on these gears here in order to work. And obviously, you know, that's not happening correctly. Let's see, which way does this go? It goes like this, with the round ends like that. And kind of makes me wonder if these were tightened up enough. If this bottom piece is not tightened up enough, or if it's warped, then this won't be held flush against the top gear like that. See, it's got to be held right up against it for it to engage. So I'm wondering if the problem lies in the cover piece that's on the bottom. I'm considering putting this back on, changing the grease in it obviously, putting this back on and cinching those bolts down as tight as it'll possibly go, because I'm thinking that could be the problem here, is that these bolts weren't tight enough down. And then you can see here on the end, this has to be exceptionally tight in order for that piece to be pushed all the way up, and if it's not, those teeth aren't going to engage properly. So I'm thinking, I mean, dare I even suggest that is the problem here. First, let me wipe all this old grease out, and then we'll change that and just try it. I mean, it sure beats buying a whole new transmission, which is what I'm going to end up having to do if this fails. This will also give us a chance to inspect these teeth a little bit and just see if the teeth are in good shape. I mean, it's always going to be kind of hard to tell on gears like this, you know, what the original spec was. You know, the test is whether it works or not. So we'll just roll with that right there. I'll put it all back together. I'll fill it up with some new grease. Get all this old stuff out. It's actually not that bad. I've seen worse. Yeah, we'll get some new in there. Okay, so I have found the failure point. This is right here. Look how wallowed that is, and it's actually, yeah, this piece right here is completely gone. That little, it's a bearing essentially, and then there's another one on this side, and it you know, it needs to spin freely, but if it's wobbling like that, it's probably not going to work. It's kicking this back and forth, and just that little bit of play is enough to, I think, stop it from working properly. Let me look into this. I want to see if I can order just that piece right there. That would fix this. Okay, so here's that part off of the shaft, the axle rather, and you can see just how wallowed that is. See how thin the wall is on this side. That's just going to continue to wallow itself out if not replaced. So I'm going to see if I can find that replacement part. I kind of doubt it, but we'll look. Trying to find this part, I did finally come across what I think is it, and they're calling it, this website at least, is calling it a bushing shaft output. I don't know, but they do have a part number here, and I can probably cross-reference that to some other sites and maybe get you know, if these guys end up not having it, which might be the case. But that's definitely the part that I need to fix this thing. My only alternative, the only other thing that I thought that I could possibly maybe do is take the other one off and then swap them around so that the bad one is on the other side, because it is in perfect condition. So that tells me that there's not nearly as much torque on that end of the transmission as there is on this end of the transmission. So basically take the good one and put it in place of this one so that it holds it tight at that point where it's most needed. And this one, you know, there would be a little bit of slop in it, but it might still be okay on the other side of the transmission. So, you know, if worst comes to worst, that's what I'm going to try to do. But for now, at least, the plan is to track this part down and get it on order. Oh, and just by the way, the alternative would be to order an entirely new gearbox and axle assembly for the whole thing, and that's going to run at least, this is the cheapest one I could find, 54 bucks. But you can see right here the little bearing that's on there. You might not be able to see this very well. Sorry for filming this. Normally I would just screenshot this so you could see a little better, but I just want to do this on the quick. But you can see it has the same sort of transaxle assembly right here with the same bushing or bearing, you know, whatever you want to call it. So that's exactly the same. It does come with all the clips and spacers, washers, parts, little springs. That little channel where these springs go, that has to be cleaned out as well. That's another thing we're going to do before we overhaul this completely and put it back together. We'll clean out that little channel that these springs set in, because they have to push up on this little key, because the key stops the pinion from going the other direction. So otherwise it won't grab. If it gets stuck in the down position, it'll just sit there and spin and it won't grab anything. There's nothing to grab then, so it won't propel. So if you have a problem with your mower not self-propelling, check that these little springs are not stuck, and this little key is not stuck in the down position, and your pinion is not just sitting there spinning freely. All right, so I got about an hour or so of daylight left, and I got some parts for this thing. I got the gasket for the transmission housing. Also got a bunch of gaskets, one for the carburetor that was missing, and then I got this little bushing. So you can see here what the bushing is supposed to look like, and here's the old one. And if you look at them head on, you could clearly see the wear. I mean, look at this one. See how offset that is? And then if you look at the side, look at that. So, yeah, let's get that on there first, and we'll put the transmission back together and put that on there and everything too. Alright, we're just going to fill this up pretty much as much as we can with the grease. I don't want to skimp on that for sure. There actually was a gasket on this. I did not realize it at the time that I took this off, but there is a gasket, so we'll peel this old gasket. And this gasket has a sticky side, just peels off. Okay. It is not turning. I mean, it is turning, but it's slipping. It's slipping. All right, watch this. You see how it's turning, but just in steps. It's like it's, I don't know. I'm certain that's not supposed to be that way. Okay, in an effort to make a long story short here, I did put this transaxle back on the machine just like it is right here as you see it, but it did not work. The gears would just not catch at times, and the times when it did catch, it was making an awful noise. And it just obviously wasn't right. So ended up having to go back to the drawing board, go online and search eBay for a used one, which I did find. I found one for about 40 bucks. That was the cheapest one I could find. So in the end, I did have to invest $40 into this machine on top of the little bit of money that I had to already put into it for you know, the gaskets and things like that I bought, and also that bushing that I bought. But I will have some parts for the next one down the road. But I mean, it's unfortunate. I kind of threw a little bit more money at this than I had anticipated. I should have to, but we did get in the end a transaxle that I can install and hopefully will operate. All right, unwrapping this replacement transmission. One side has got the spring in it. Yeah, the other side's got it also, but there's no keys, so they've got the springs but no keys. So it's a good thing I've got the keys. Okay. Seems to be smooth, but that kind of remains to be seen. Tighten this down. Okay, this one's definitely operating smoother than the other one. And I can tell, God, man, I can tell off the bat there's more clearance from these bolts too. They're holding this little bracket right here on. So, yeah, I think this is gonna get it. And I don't see any wear on these bushings like we had before. So those should be okay too. So that's looking pretty good. Whoops. This guy goes on, and then this guy. Alright, get the clip on down there. Yeah, it's in there. Okay, now we got a couple of washers. Alright, we got a washer and then a clip. Right? Alright. Washer, clip, and then what, another washer. And then we've got spring and key. I want to make sure the spring hole is clean. Okay, if this spring gets too clogged in there, that's why I'm not going to use real heavy grease. I'm going to use some lithium grease. Because if that spring gets too clogged in here, it will not do its job. It's supposed to be free and it's supposed to pop up and down on that spring and ratchet that spring or that key into place. If you don't get this part right, that spring will not work and this key will not do its job. The key is supposed to move up and down so that the pinion gear catches in one direction and slips in the reverse direction. Okay, yeah, it'll drive that way. That's correct. Almost messed up. throughout the plastic thing. Okay, so it seems somewhat counterintuitive, but this is the way it's supposed to go. It's supposed to ratchet when you turn it forward, and it's supposed to catch when you turn it backwards if you're assembling one of these. Alright, now the last clip. That. Now the wheel goes on. All right, there's one side. Let's get the other side now. that's got it. Pretty much the only thing left to do is to get the carb, the breather back on. Go ahead and grab that and put that back on. Everything else, and wash it. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this one. I usually like to, do a final mow and stuff with it to demonstrate how it mows and all that stuff. You guys probably know that already, but in this case, I actually sold this thing before I got a chance to do any kind of mowing session with it and demonstrate it. It sold really, really fast. I had another Toro that I had listed on Marketplace, and I'll put a link up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen there if you want to see that one. And that one sold really quickly, and in the process of trying to sell that one, I had several inquiries on that one. And I told one of the other guys who missed that one that I had this one also, and he was interested, so he came by and picked it up. So yeah, I didn't have to list it or anything, and it just sold really, really fast. So yeah, man, another successful save from the dump, and moved it on to a new home. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, hit subscribe. And if you're looking for something else to watch, check out one of these other videos up on your screen. And for now, we'll see y'all later.